Over the last couple months, I've been playing a lot of Counter-Strike. Now, don't get me wrong, I've been playing first-person shooters since GoldenEye back on the N64, but I never took my aim seriously until I found CS. Following are some of the main points that I learned from Counter-Strike that are applicable to almost any other game. Always keep your crosshair at shoulder height or slightly above. The chin is just as much a headshot as the dome, and there's a few reasons for this. First is recoil. If you're aiming right at the top of his dome, and it jumps, you're going to miss with the second shot. If you're aiming at the chin, that second shot is going to be perfectly right between the eyes. The second reason is there's less to flick if he crouches. If you're aiming at the chin, by the time he gets to the crouch stance, your small adjustment, you will be right perfectly where you need to be. Last reason is that if you hit high and you're aiming at the chin, it's still going to be a headshot. Where if you're aiming at the dome and you hit high, you're going to completely miss. Now, the opposite is not necessarily true when you're aiming low. If you hit the body, you're still going to get a body shot, which is still good. My second point kind of segues out of that perfectly, which is aim where they're going to be. This is a really bad habit I used to have, and I hear a lot of people doing it. What I used to do is aim down almost towards the ground and use the big open space on the top of my screen to kind of look around. Thought that it gave me more field of view and a better, clearer picture of the battlefield. This isn't true, as the time it takes to snap the target is much greater than the time it takes your enemy to just shoot you in the face, since he probably has his crosshairs placed correctly. Next point, check your corners. Before I played CS, I died to everyone from behind. I'd call them campers. I would think that this game is just full of disgusting players who sat in one place and didn't do anything, but no. It's an actual valid way of playing this game. It's a valid way of playing almost any first-person shooters. When you enter a room, full clear it. The next point, sound is just as important, if not more important, than the visuals on your screen. I used to listen to music and ignored the sound information. Before I played CS, I never had myself a positive KD. Wonder if those two are related. Next thing is that you do not need to be the first one into a gunfight. There's going to be plenty of killing left for you if you just chill and get a little bit of information. My issue is that I'd always like to be the first one in, always be the first one dead. I'd have a really crappy call out to present, and as a result, I rendered myself virtually worthless to my teammates. You don't want to be worthless to your teammates. Now, the opposite of this, you also don't want to use your teammates for bait. Don't let them run out first, only to get you some information. You guys want to engage at the same time. Try to coordinate it in voice comms if you can. If not, just look for them when they're peeking out. Remember, the most important thing is that the enemy can only shoot one person at a time. Chances are it's going to be the first person to peek, so if 2 or 3 people peek at the same time, they can only get one of them. Good communication is absolutely key. If you don't know the callouts, ask. You'd be surprised how willing people are to teach you if you just ask the question. With that also, pick a map and stick with it. Watch only videos for that map, learn all the nade spots, learn all the wallbang spots for that map. You don't need to know everything, you just need to know enough to be dirty. Aim training and recoil training maps are absolutely crucial to getting better. At the end of the day, when you're actually playing the game, you end up shooting maybe 1% of the time. While you're in a training map, you can bring this up to closer to the 100% range. Thus, you're going to effectively train 100 times faster. That's a good thing. Always start your session with a gun game or two, until you feel warmed up and loose. Then go play a comp. Don't waste your time in casuals. It's full of cheaters, trolls, toxic scum, and the rest of the CS community that you should just generally avoid. Instead, try playing retake. It's a lot better practice and replicates comp pretty well.
Alrighty guys, well that's pretty much what I've learned in my first 100 hours playing CS and Silver. Now I do want to take a second to talk about this gameplay. First off, 12 kills in a single life is a lot for Counter-Strike. You'll pay attention and notice that I'm kinda just chilling and I'm not really going out and playing too aggressively. This is absolutely on purpose. You're not going to be able to pull off a 12 banger if you're playing super hyper aggressive. I'm sorry, that's just how this game works. You get a single health pool, there's no kind of meds, there's nothing to heal you. That's just how it works. Now what I do want to talk about, because it did look at the beginning like I toggled. I do not toggle, I do not cheat, I do not believe in it, I am actually firmly against it. A video I'm releasing in a few weeks here is actually going to be an interview I've had with a cheater. I think that the practice is absolutely disgusting. I think that it ruins the community as a whole. It creates a lot of undue frustration, and nobody grows as a player. The cheater doesn't grow, and the person cheating on doesn't learn anything. Nobody learns anything. But that's kind of here nor there. You also can't spend your entire time calling every person a cheater. You just have to work with what you got. Play with the people you play with. Win the ones you can. Take the victories where you get them. Aside from that, you guys have yourself a fantastic day. If you enjoyed yourself, go ahead and slap that like button, hit the sub to stay informed. I upload regular content about Rust and Valheim. Sometimes I upload some CS content, sometimes I upload some other stuff. We mix it up. Either way, you guys have yourself a fantastic day. Peace.
Oh, nice, dude.